All right, guys. Hey, I'm Carm Taglia with Top 3 Roofers. And today I've got Triple J Roofing out in Macon, Georgia. And these guys, just to give you a little background, right? A lot of people say that they're doing trust and roofing, right? Like these guys really get it with doing an amazing job, building trust fast, and then being in the local community. We're going to be talking about barbecues on build days. We're going to talk about their local minor league baseball team that they support. They also do other sponsorships like, ticket giveaways, dirt track cars. They're big on the military, first responders. They have rebates and programs for those guys, strong rewards. And then sometimes they even have Kevin Bacon, the mascot from the Macon Bacon, the local baseball team, actually come out. Like these guys are putting on the suit, right? Like in the hot Georgia heat and getting after it. But before we get like too serious about trust and community and culture, what it takes to build, I just want to ask you guys, you've got James and you've got Jacob, right? Can I guess the third J? Can I guess it?
Go for it. What you
Is it,
got?
can you see it?
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
right.
Am I right
That's
or
right.
no?
That's it.
Absolutely.
Man, I didn't get that until this morning. Like I was
Yeah.
literally like, man, if I asked them about the third J and it's like a sob story, like this is really gonna like kick things off pretty poorly.
No, that's not a sob story.
I love it, man. I love it. So that's great, man. Yeah, I love that. So that's faith based, man. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, why did you incorporate that in there? And then it's also kind of hidden. Like, I like it that it's not the very first thing you see, because sometimes when it comes to trust, sometimes putting that out there super duper duper strong also like scares people like, well, what are these guys really hiding?
Yeah, we didn't want to use it as a sales tactic. We wanted it to be more of a, it's a daily reminder that that's what this is supposed to be built off of, and you got
Hmm.
to have a solid foundation to build anything, and that's our foundation that we're building off of. So, and it's something that's not like a Christian company just labeled all over it. It's something where people ask like that, and that's when we get to share the gospel in moments like that, and that's one of the most important things we do, of course. So.
I love that, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm proud of myself for actually figuring that out.
Yeah, none of it's possible without him. We wouldn't be where we are without really just his guidance and shining the light on our business and just blessing us overwhelmingly. So
Absolutely.
it,
I
it's
love it, man.
yeah, it keeps you humble.
And you guys are blessed, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I've seen, you know, I kind of feel like a weird stalker when I go through these interviews because I'm like on your
Yeah.
Facebook. I see like you guys are family guys, you're proud papas, you're faith based, you're dripping in the community. Like I love that, man. Maybe we could start with that. Like these homeowners, they're obviously trusting you for a newer company. There's a lot of older companies in the Macon area. And that's a big market. Central Georgia is a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
market. So
Super
maybe we could
saturated.
yeah, so maybe we could start right there, man. And what's your special sauce to get these homeowners to trust you? Like, how are you doing it right?
I really just getting out and getting in front of people. I feel like people just become familiar with us is they're not feeling pressured to use
Mhm.
us, because we do a lot of door knocking. That's where we generate most of our business from, right? Especially early on. And then, when you're going out there and you've got zero Google reviews and you don't have a website, you don't have a wrap vehicle, you don't have t-shirts. I mean, that's how it started, really. Just getting out and I think like knowing the process and being able to walk them through that thoroughly. Transparency gains trust, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
if homeowners can't trust you, you ruin your reputation, you're not going to be around for a very long time.
Right. Kind of like he said, just being very knowledgeable, being very professional, and being transparent. Like he said, that is the key factor to it. Is just being honest. Don't go tell people they need something that they don't need. We try to provide photo reports. We offer to do drone inspections first because let's be honest, in this industry, vandalism is a very common thing, unfortunately. So we just go ahead and eliminate that. If we have pictures of what it looked like before, then we can't be held accountable
Yeah. No,
or
exactly. I
responsible,
love
I
that.
should say, not accountable.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. I mean, yeah, that shows a lot. Like, I think I saw a post even this morning, like somebody posted about how you guys were out there. You got there like a half hour early. The other contractor was there a half hour late. Couldn't figure out what it is. That guy right away ripped off hey, we got to replace the whole roof. And I don't know if it was one of you guys or one of your team
Yeah,
members.
yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll let you tell the story. Why don't you go ahead and tell the story? It probably comes better
Yeah.
than,
So,
from
yeah,
myself.
I showed up 30 minutes early. The other company showed up 30 minutes late. We both did our inspection, and he had went up and basically just said, well, I'll just send you an estimate for the full roof. I don't really see nothing up there. And so I proceeded to get in the attic, try to see what else I could find because typically, I mean, water is going to leave a trace, and if you have it in your on your drywall, it's coming in from somewhere. So we got in there and looked around. I figured it was going to be flashing just based off of what the homeowner was telling me and the location of it. But we got at it. We confirmed that that's what it was. We gave him an estimate for the repairs. And then we did the repair. And he called his insurance company and they unfortunately told him that he had to replace the roof for them to cover. I'll just say it was Big Red. They just do their thing. But anyway, he asked me to give him an estimate for the full roof. So I provided him that. And he told me, he was like, it's $3,000 higher, and they're using the same materials. So why should I go with you? And I was like, well, I can't tell you what the other company does, but I can tell you we stand behind our warranties. I know you're going to have a good product installed. We're typically there at all of our builds, so all of that kind of correlates to we're going to do a good job and do our best for you. And if you call us with a check, we're going to be out there, or with a leak, we're going to be out there as quick as we would if you said you had a check, because that's our reputation and we stand by it. So he ended up going with us, and now we're building his roof.
Right now,
I
actually.
love it,
Yep.
man. Yeah, I love that. I love the part of the story too, where it's like, like you were also higher than the other guy, right? Like, you weren't like, okay, I'm the lowest ball, the lowest bid out there, and you still won their business. It's like you said, you're gaining their trust, man. It's amazing. It says a lot. It says a lot about you guys. Kind of rewinding back, like, how did you guys meet? How did you guys start this business?
So that's kind of a funny story. We actually, so I've been in and out of the roofing industry for about 6 years. I started I was with this company called Pink Gorilla, but I didn't really learn anything there. But went with Perimeter Roofing. I'm sure you've heard of Raymond Little and all those guys.
That's a big outfit.
Yeah, he trained me in a lot of this, and then kind of fell out of it. Went back in. We started working with the company, and man, we were really killing it. He ended up coming on, and then he took it and ran with it. I mean, he's one of the best salesmen I've ever seen. So with
Nice,
that being
man.
said,
Nice.
we started running everything, and then it kind of felt like we were doing all the work, and we weren't really seeing any of the benefit. So
Mhm.
we kind of put our heads together and decided to do this for ourselves. So we did.
Nice, man. I love it. So you got you're the construction side, he's the sales side, and just together, boom, killing it. I love that, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Well,
then we both learn from each other. We continue to feed off of each other, and the energy that one of us brings, the other one definitely matches it. And it's
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. We have a good time. And that's the main thing, is having fun while you're doing it, because it is a very fun industry. I mean, we're blessed to be able to do this every day, and it is a lot of fun. That's for sure.
yeah,
yeah, it's fast moving. I have a similar dynamic with me and my brother, right? Like, I'm like the marketing and sales side, and he's like the guy that actually gets the stuff done and like kind of like reels me in sometimes too. It's like, we
yeah,
we can't do that, right? Like, we
yeah.
got to do it this
Yeah.
way.
I tell people all the time, like having a partnership can be hard, but I would much rather do that than do it alone.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You can't do everything yourself, and if you're really trying to build something, and you guys are like building fast, like you guys have seen explosive growth. I mean, from like day one to like now you're in what, year five? Like, what's that like from starting to where you're at now? Like, how's
Well,
that
see,
growth?
Triple J's been in business since January 2025. That's when we started.
Hmm.
So we're in our second year of it. And it's really, it's really just been amazing, honestly. What was the question that you said? I started thinking about how it
Well,
was,
how
you
how
said
did you
vibe.
grow so fast? Like that's amazing, and it's even more amazing that you've only done it like in a year, right?
So mainly door to door, man, getting out there and knocking on the doors, doors pay. I mean, they really do. That's the main thing, is just knocking doors, offering inspections, and keeping that same transparency through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Being owner operators, and of course we've poured a lot of money into our systems to clean things up, to make us more efficient. We poured a lot of money into Google leads. The guys who do our handle our Google and our website SEO are absolutely amazing, and they've got us ranking a lot higher. So that visibility, sponsoring baseball teams, whether it's like the Macon Bacon or our nephew's high school or
Yeah.
middle school, whatever it is, billboards, really passing out cards from door knocking, leaving signs in the yard. All those things have made it where, when we started last January, people were like, I've never heard of you. And it's like, well, yeah, this is the reason why, as now they're like, oh yeah, I've seen your signs, or you did the roof down the road. Like really just putting our heads down and being consistent
Right.
has been the number one factor in why we've grown the way that we have.
And reviews are a huge factor of that, making sure you're getting reviews because that's where people can go look and see firsthand from homeowners what their situation was like with us. And that's where we really are good at getting reviews. That's for sure.
Talk about that a little bit. So, I mean, after the job is done, are you just like shaking hands and then like, hey, it mean the world to us to get that review? Like, what are you doing to get that review?
I mean, kind of, sort of, yeah, we do a walk around. Typically when we pick up the final check, that's when I go ahead and throw it in there like, hey, I'm going to send you an invoice. And with the invoice is going to be a link to leave us a Google review. If you could leave us a review, it really helps us out. And typically they do that, every now and then you got to hit them with the, hey, is that link working?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
It is one of like the most important things nowadays is getting these reviews, and people trust those reviews digitally, right? It's almost as good nowadays as a physical you telling somebody and that person actually giving you a call. It's in that review, right? AI looks at it. Everybody looks at it. The Google Maps trust it because I always tell people it's like you're taking a pin on a board on a map and just putting it there and saying, "Hey, I did this job in this area," and it draws it back to you. And the internet's kind of correcting itself with that stuff too, which is nice. It's trusting more people, especially with AI. You see it trust sources that you thought were like dead, like the BBB or Yelp, or like it trusts Reddit. That's really weird. Like Reddit, like I thought that was like for little kid video games, like what
Right.
is that?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome that you guys recognize that.
Like you said, you worded it well. Reviews are pretty much just as good as getting that referral from your neighbor. It's reliable. You can go on there, you can see real life past experiences with us. And what a lot of people are missing out on when they're not pushing for those reviews is it keeps you relevant in the algorithm online. Google has an algorithm. They want to see that you're posting regularly, that you're actively doing jobs. Otherwise, they're not going to want to refer you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, you know, your let's talk about like the things that are unseen. Like, okay, reviews you could go out and get, but like you talk about being everywhere, like this omnipresence, right? Like, what do you like? What's with you got the barbecues, you've got billboards, like how do you feel like that's helping you out?
Just bringing awareness to us, main thing like with the build day cookout, our idea was, this is a good build. We had a recent storm, and if we bring some food, it'll bring customers. It's really just getting ourselves out there and making our brand awareness pop. That's what the billboard was for. It wasn't specifically like somebody's going to see that billboard and call us. It's just that they're going to see that Triple J logo. They're going to see it, and it's going to resonate. So if they get a card in the neighborhood, they're like, oh yeah, I've seen their billboard. So they are local, because we do have a lot of companies that come down from Atlanta and stuff like that. We are a very saturated company. So when they look at that card and they think about seeing that billboard, and then they go look at our reviews, that's when they're going to be giving us a call.
Yeah, it's that omnipresence, that building trust. Like you guys are doing a really good job of it, man. I could really tell just looking at, the whole picture of everything that everybody really gets it. And those are things that you can't track, right? Like when you put together a marketing budget for the year, you're like, okay, how much are we going to spend on barbecue? How much are we going to spend on, Kevin Bacon,
Right.
the mascot, right? But it's these unseen things, the untrackable things that, are helping out with these touches. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume that's really, you guys are going out there, people are seeing this, and then it's like, okay, it's building trust right off the bat, right?
Right. Hey,
Absolutely.
y'all are the owners. Like these guys are involved, And the cookout thing, I mean, that was just a genius idea too, because it's a neighborhood that we really wanted to be known in. So of course you're gonna you're gonna remember we're the roofers that had that big cookout down the road.
I know, man.
Everybody knows that.
I got a body built by barbecue. When I first saw your site, you've got this like intro video. They got barbecue. I'm like, these guys are awesome. These guys get it, man. Like I
Yeah,
got a
it was a
body
good
built
time.
by it.
It was a good way to give back to the community, to give back to our crews, to give back to our clients, and Like that's one side of it. And the other side of it being like a sales tactic is, a lot of times we're bringing our service to people, but if we can get people to come to us, it's a different approach, right? Because if me and James are sitting right there, of course we're going to talk about the roof, and it's just a different kind of opportunity. Your guard is going to be way down if you come up and we're like, "Yeah, get you a plate." While you're here, we can talk about your roof. What's it look like?
Right. And not only are they getting a free plate of food, I had to say, look, all right, this is a little off topic, man, but I made a video talking about coming and getting a free plate of food, and I kept saying it like all jumbled, so that's why we just laughed. But anyway, not only are they coming and getting a free plate of food, but they're seeing our install firsthand. They're seeing our guys up on this roof. They're seeing the quality of the materials being installed. They're seeing the attention to detail that, we had a project manager there, so if he's on top of it. We had an equipter out there, so they see that we're equipped to handle a lot of jobs. So I think that was a really good way of getting them out there, not only but filling their belly, but getting them to look at our.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Hey, I mean, you Southern boys, I mean, door knocking in the South is way different than door knocking up here in the Midwest. I'm like about 40, 50 miles west of Chicago, but like you guys are brave, and it's a struggle sometimes. You're knocking on these people's door. It's a little bit frightening for you guys, right?
Definitely, like early on. Yeah, it's something that you have to get over. We always tell our guys and ourselves the hardest door to get past is your truck door.
Yeah.
You get to the neighborhood and then that's kind of when your nerves get worked up. But it's almost like you get into a flow state. Once you have to believe in what you're selling, right? So that's where the quality, the trust, the transparency helps out because there's nothing that we have to hide. So we
Yep.
don't have to watch how we say things. We go up there and we're stating the facts and saying, hey, this is what we have to offer. No obligation. It's completely free for us to look at it. The hardest part for most people is picking out a color to go back with their
Yeah.
new shingles. But yeah, the hardest door to get past is your truck door. And once you get into that flow state and you know what you're saying, it's almost automatic. And then you have to find ways to make it fun. In Christmas, like Christmas times, we come up with jingles, and I mean, Halloween. I said something like, I know it's Halloween, but your roof is terrifying. You should let us check it
Yeah.
out. Just
Man,
little stuff like
I
that,
love
man.
it.
It makes me more comfortable. If I can make myself more comfortable, then they're going to be more comfortable. And now we can have a conversation, right?
Right. People buy from people, so that's the thing. Is just letting people know you're not a robot. You're not anything like that. You're just here to bring a service and,
Yeah.
and man, a good one at that.
I mean, you want to do a good job, right? You want to feed your family. Yeah, in the South, it's a little bit different because there's just so many people that they'll travel to other states. Like that's kind of normal over here. It happens, yes, but it's not as much as in the South. There, you've got those, especially you guys are very close to Texas. Like Texas, those guys will go anywhere. And I feel like
Yeah.
there's got to be about 12 million roofers in Texas. It's like, how do you
Yeah.
combat stuff like that where they've already knocked the door and then you're knocking the door and then it's like, oh,
Well, a lot of it is just how we present ourselves. We tell each other all the time, like, this neighborhood's been knocked, but it hasn't been knocked by us. When we show up,
mhm,
we're bringing a different energy, we're bringing a different professionalism. So I think that's where we stand out is just how we talk. And we also ride electric scooters from door to door. So most roofers don't show up
there you
on
go.
scooters. And it is a pretty big icebreaker usually. I mean, either people love them or they hate them. So
Yeah. And another big difference maker too is, for instance, let's use Texas. If some roofers are coming out of Texas and they're chasing a storm, when that storm is done and over with, they're going back to Texas. So if your roof if your roof leaks in 5 years with that 10-year warranty, who's more likely going to be the person to come and fix that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Who's gonna be in business? Who's gonna stick around? Like you guys are
Right.
vested in the community. You're not going anywhere. Your name's on the door. You're one of the three J's, right? So at the end
Absolutely.
of the day, I don't think you guys are going anywhere.
yeah, and I've told people straight up, I was like, if for some reason this doesn't work out and I end up working at McDonald's and you call me and your roof's leaking, I put my name on it. I'll be out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're very much, that's a big differentiator, versus these, truck and truck guys coming out of nowhere, coming out of left field. What are some other things like customers should know on the other end, like buyer beware stories, like cutting corners? Is it low ball
Uh, yeah. I
estimates
mean,
that don't include everything?
cutting corners for sure. I think, for instance, like with manufacturer warranties, the manufacturer has you require, or you're required to use their products. And if you don't use all of their products, then you don't get the warranty. You can pitch it as a full Atlas system with all Atlas products, but if you don't install those, you may be able to send it off and get a certificate or whatever. But if a problem happens when Atlas comes out to check that roof, it's not going to be covered. So that's one of the main things, especially around here. A lot of people like to use area shingles as starter strip. That voids your manufacturer warranty right there. Even if you are using all Atlas products, if you don't use the starter strip, you're kind of out of the ball game. So transparency as far as that goes, I tell a lot of homeowners just to watch what's going on in your roof. If it looks funny, then ask some questions. See what their answers are.
Yeah, look at their Google reviews, see what their reputation is. Where is their office if they have one? What materials are they using? And when materials get delivered, by then you should have a line item estimate. That's nothing. Make sure you're getting a line item estimate that shows you what they're claiming to be installing. Check it when it gets there. Have your project manager or your sales rep, whoever it is that you've been dealing with, come out and walk you through. Hey, this is what it is. This is what we said it is. And yeah, I mean, ask for references. Who is someone close by that I might be able to talk to that would let me come by and just or tell me about their experience with you. All those kinds of things are super. Some are more important than others, but they're all very beneficial, and I think that's like good homeowner due diligence, right? To see, okay, who am I working with and what am I actually getting? Because 90% of people don't know, maybe even more than that, don't know the first thing about their roof, what it's supposed to be. What does it mean to have it up to code? What's a drip edge? What's a ridge? What's a, what are my rakes? I mean, they just don't know it. So definitely get somebody who has that name out there.
Yeah, I mean, going local with somebody too, I mean, you automatically pretty much know probably the building codes by heart, right? I mean, they change a little bit, but versus somebody coming from another state and then creeping in, they probably don't know it, and they probably don't know the building codes, they don't know the licensing and all that other stuff as well, right?
Absolutely. And part of our job is to educate, not sell. Just educate the homeowner on what they have and what their options are. That's typically what it is, and see what's the best avenue. But definitely to educate, not to sell. That's one of the main things.
Yeah. Because I mean, what's going to happen, right? If 6 months from now it leaks or 6 years from now it leaks, I mean, you're gonna wish you talked about it more in the sales process and definitely after you guys leave, right? So,
Yeah.
that's a big portion of it. And you guys are mostly insurance and storm damage, but is it easier to sell the retail now that you guys are building that trust locally, building that omnipresence? Are you seeing kind of like it
A hundred
shift a little
percent.
bit?
Yeah, much easier.
100%.
Beautiful. Is that
We
like a goal of yours to like, oh, we're tired of door knocking. We rather have the people
well,
find us locally.
yeah, definitely, because you don't want to just rely on insurance for all of your income. If you can, don't get me wrong, it was a great time for us to get started. We had some really good storms that came through, and I mean everything just lined up perfect. But that's why we had to pour into Google Leads, SEO, get all of these things organically, build a strong presence in our community. That way, if we're not the first phone call, we're in the mix. We might be the second or third person that they call to get an estimate. And the way that we present it, we have really competitive pricing. You're going to win retail jobs. You want to build the retail side of your business for longevity, for that
Absolutely.
security.
Laws change, and we're already in a gray area ish. So once you, if something does happen and insurance stop paying for roofs, you're going to want to have something retail going on. Otherwise, you're just going to drown.
Yeah, and you're also a victim of the insurance companies. Like whatever they decide, you have to go with, right? So like, and I mean, you could see beyond your nose, right? You could see where the insurance companies are going. I interview public adjusters and stuff like that as well, and it's like, yeah, the writing is on the wall. The future of insurance work is, it's not guaranteed to be there, right? Because they're looking to get out of it and not pay the claim. They don't want to, right? And even when they do, it's probably they don't want to pay the full claim, right? They only want to pay, as low as they could possibly go or drag it out as long as possible so they don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah,
That'll starve you out of it. That's why it's super important to get into the retail side of things because if insurance altogether as a whole, I mean, this probably isn't going to happen, but there's always the possibility, and you're seeing changes in the industry now where a lot of companies are getting a lot harder to work with.
yeah. A
Um,
lot of policies are changing from RCV to ACV policies, where
i-
they're all
Yeah.
paying, so
Insurance doesn't always have to pay for roofs, but people will always need roofs. So you have to be able to survive years with no storms. And that's part of it too, is like there's gonna come a time where it's like, hey, we haven't had a legitimate, hailstorm in 2 or 3 years. You're not gonna get a
Hmm.
roof paid for hail damage. And what's gonna
Yeah.
happen is a lot of the companies who haven't gotten themselves established in retail, they're gonna fail. And I don't wish that on anybody, but that's in any industry that you work in, right? People are gonna fail. It's going to eliminate a lot of the not so great companies. And the ones who are left at the end, those are your guys. Those are the people who are probably trustworthy, who have a good financial backing that can actually warranty your roof. And it's kind of like starting fresh. Then you get you a big storm. Of course, everyone's going to come flooded again. But by then you've built up even more of a presence, even more of a name, more of a reputation. Um,
Beautiful, man. Yeah. It's changing. It's like, what can you do? But at the end of the day, I mean, you guys have a lot of good things going for you. I mean, what would you say? Like, what's your special sauce, man? What do you think it is?
keeping Christ at the center, man. That's the most important thing. That's what keeps it all together. If it wasn't for that, it'd all fall apart and it'd be done tomorrow.
Nice, man. Nice. How about your corporate culture, man? I see a lot of pics thrown around on Facebook and on your website and stuff like that. Like you looks like you're really building a happy family, like a happy team.
yeah. So that's where a lot of our focus is going right now because we've got insurance flowing, we've got retail coming in. Now it's like, okay, how do we duplicate ourselves? So we're actually
Mhm.
of a community of roofers that Raymond Little is involved in. He's kind of the one who I think made it explode, where it's popping up on everybody's feeds. But we got in on that, and there's just been so much valuable information just over the last 2 weeks that we've really gathered in from that have helped us um, navigate how do you duplicate yourself and build your team? What are the things that you absolutely have to be doing? Main thing is lead from the front, you know. And
Mhm.
so we've been we've been working it out. Another good thing about having a partnership is one of us runs appointments all day long, and the other one is training these guys up. For the most part, we have a university that they attend. It's like crash courses them on roofing knowledge. If they have none, they have enough to be able to go out and create opportunities.
Mhm.
We have a ladder system too. So we're not letting anybody come in, put a t-shirt on, and start climbing roofs because you're not about to get put on Facebook tearing up shingles because you're trying to get some money and ruin our reputation, right? So you have to earn our trust is the number one thing. Get out, show us that you're capable of getting in front of people. You're capable of setting appointments. Let us come in from there. You'll make your commission. Do that for 90 days. We kind of evaluate after 90 days, see, okay, how many appointments have you set? If you hit our set number of appointments within that 90 days and you've showed consistency and effort, we'll bump you up a little bit. And then we start training you more about just roofing knowledge and the insurance process. And then shortly after that, they'll be shadowing us or I guess we would be shadowing them where they're working the entire process all the way through. And we're kind of just there to critique them. We're there to let them fail. We're there to build them up when they do good. We're there to correct it when they do wrong. And then, once you've worked about five claims all the way through, that's like your final evaluation where it's like, okay, now you're bumped up to sales rep, because after 90 days and then however long that other window takes, we
Mhm.
ought to know you pretty good. You've been around long enough for us to know, can
Right.
we trust you or do we need to part ways with you? So it's definitely setting the standard. We're not out here trying to make money illegally. We're offering legitimate services, and not every homeowner is going to be your homeowner. Not every door is going to be money for you. So
Yeah.
setting them up for success, setting this up for the long game.
I love it, man. I love what you're building. Like, talk about that a little bit, the long game. Like, you're at, this point right now, this initial phase. I mean, like, next year, 3 years, 5 years, like, where do you guys see this headed?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we just want to build the team, man, make it to where it starts being a little more self-sustainable. We if we both stepped away for 2 weeks, we wouldn't have a company when we come back, and that's something we want to fix. Get everybody in the positions they need to be in, where it runs and it flows by itself. Of course, we want to be involved. That we love this, and it's a blessing to do it. But of course, we want it to be able to sustain itself. And, putting all those people in the positions they need to be in, and letting it, flow for a little while, and just growing the team in general.
I love it,
Yeah,
man. I love it.
I'd say to be successful in sales, you have to have some kind of leadership mentality, right? You can't be the guy who just sits back and waits for someone else to take the initiative. You have to go out and create opportunities. So I'd say in the next 3 years, we're looking to double or triple what we did year one, which
Beautiful.
we're on track to double this year. But we're not just hiring canvassers; we're building future leaders. We want everybody to work their way up that ladder. We don't want anybody to stay down here too long. As a matter of fact, if you stay down there for too long, you're just not going to work out. The point of the ladder is to get these people to points where in their life they feel like they're in control of their financial situation, that they have that freedom, but they're still eager and hungry, and they're actually being able to build something for themselves. Because a little bit of a background on me: before I got into roofing and sales, I was a head chef, and before that, I got in some trouble when I was younger. So I did 5 years in prison when I was 18, and I got out, and it was extremely hard to find a career that could actually set me
Wow.
up for a successful life. I didn't have a family at the time, but all of that drastically changed. We found out I got married. We found out we were pregnant with our first boy. I actually got fired from the restaurant, which was an answered prayer in disguise, right? The
Yeah.
very next day, I met James and we started knocking doors. I made 6 figures my first year, like
Nice.
money that I had dreamed about and was never able to do. And it's completely changed my life. So I know what it can do for people. So
Hmm.
we take the opportunity for people to come on very serious. And if you're not reciprocating that, if you're not regurgitating that, like it's just not going to work out, because you have to have that leadership mentality. So we want people to come in. We want everyone that wears our t-shirt to do really, really well for themselves, because the potential is uncapped. And the idea right now is to get these guys rolling, have them work their way up, eventually have, our top guy step into a leadership position on the residential side, where we can go out and really, the same way that we've established our residential roofing, do the same thing for commercial,
Hmm.
and just completely dominate the market, and change people's lives that come into this.
Absolutely. But we got to get this residential running and flowing, everybody where they need to be, so it can run itself, so we can step away and focus on that commercial, because we can't pull apart what's going good already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Can't spread yourself too thin, right? And I
right.
see too, like you guys are, certified with coatings and stuff like that. Are like coatings like the gateway to bigger commercial jobs? Is that where you're
I
going with
think for
that?
us, yeah,
Okay.
for us, I think coatings is the really nice entry point to really break the surface on commercial, because a lot of your bigger commercial stuff, the stuff that everybody wants to get to, if they're really wanting to do commercial, you've got to have the history, right? You aren't even allowed to bid on some jobs unless you've done $1 million job in the past.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
haven't done it, you're wasting their time and yours. So yeah, just, everybody, you have to start at the bottom. So it's the same thing, the same way that people start at the bottom, which is still a great position, and work their way up into leadership positions where they're making an awesome paycheck, swiping the card, not having to worry about looking at the price tag. It's the same thing for commercial. So, you start out, we've done commercial, don't get me wrong. We've done metal roofs, we've done gas stations, a small church building, so that's where you start out at in the commercial. You go out and you start building up that name. Like, oh yeah, well we were able to coat this this Kroger and save them, half of what they were going to spend on replacing it, and extend the life of the roof by 30 years with a really great modified system that's backed by the manufacturer. He'll come out and walk the roof with us.
Hmm.
Our manufacturer rep will, and it's warranted for that 30-year period by the manufacturer.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's commercial jobs like people don't. It's very relationship driven, and it's also very, somebody that when you bid on a commercial job, right? I mean, they're really vetting you, like they're really getting down, because they want to make sure that you're the right partner for that job and the right one to take that job on, right? And it looks like you guys are starting with the smaller projects like the gas stations. Like you're not going out and doing like the Atlanta Falcons roof. I mean, what's that, the
Yeah, yeah.
Metrodome? Where did they play?
No,
The
no.
Metro?
See, jobs like that, man, you get in over your head and it can destroy you. One thing goes wrong, and if it costs you $500,000, you're screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, we would be anyway.
Yeah, cash flow wise, right? You just got
Yeah.
to flip
So,
that, I love that, man. So do you guys have any like horror stories from that are out there that you like saved people from? Like, this guy came out and did this, and then we had to come in and just totally salvage. I mean, because sometimes, when you go the cheap route, that cheap route ends up costing you more. You guys probably see that a lot where you have to come in and fix other people's mistakes. Like, what does that look like?
oh, you got one? I don't really have a horror story, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some pretty nasty stuff, and it was really unfortunate because these people had just got their roof done and it was leaking all over the place. And I got up there and it's some of the worst workmanship I've ever seen. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fix it because it needed to be replaced again, and it was just out of their budget at that time. So I mean, it's a horror story. It's not so much of a savior story. And these are the things that you need to be aware of. It was actually a crew of individuals that came out of Texas and claimed that they could do the roof, and they went the insurance route. Insurance paid for it, and they just completely ruined this house.
Man. And like, what do you do after that? Like, you want to help these people, but obviously you can't do it for nothing, right? And then
Yeah.
on their end, the insurance is probably not going to pay for that again. They're like, well, they're just pretty much SOL at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's a big thing about insurance is, they'll recommend contractors, but you are responsible to find a suitable contractor to do the repairs that are issued by the insurance. So insurance
Mhm.
definitely is not paying for that roof again. The best we could do was offer them a price that we don't really make any money on and offer them financing. And I mean, we could at least save the home that way, but that didn't happen. So
Oh, I thought of one. So as far as looking into who you're using, that's a very big thing because a lot of people will try to look at the numbers, and you can't just look at the numbers. You got to look at what's behind those numbers. And for instance, we had a roof. It was probably 60 squares or so, maybe 50. Maybe it wasn't that big, but anyway, two doors down, there was a house that we had knocked on their door and we hadn't been able to get in touch with them. Well, they ended up getting the roof done. Well, we realized that they were using felt in the valleys. They had just like this old like 1960s dump truck out there as their dump trailer. It was really wild, man. I think they had some like bootleg shingles or something. Well, I tried to talk to the homeowner right then, like, hey, I would tell them to leave now. I mean, they're only got felt down. There's some crazy shingles over here, but they wouldn't answer. But anyway, we ended up finishing that whole roof that was 50 squares. They're on like a 30 square roof, and we finished our whole roof by the time they had it felted.
Wow.
So that just says something. But I would definitely just like emphasize, don't just look at the numbers, look at what's behind those numbers. Cause that whole roof was like completely different colors and everything. And the homeowner was absolutely really upset about it. Once I went back and talked to him and actually got to talk to him, they really didn't want to talk to me because I guess it's because I'm kind of hitting a sore spot. And I'd understand that, if you spend what you have in savings to get your roof done because you need a good roof over your head, and then it comes out as poorly as that, I would be upset too. So definitely don't just
Yeah. I
look at the
mean,
numbers. Look at what's behind them.
nobody wants to hear that they have bad breath in the morning, right? Nobody wants, it happens though. It's not like you're like rubbing it in. Hey guys, you should have went with me. It's like you're trying like, hey man, trying to help you. No, that's great though, man. Tell me a little bit more about like your first responder program, your military rebate program, your referral program, because I think that's interesting that you guys put that together right out of the gate versus
yeah.
figuring it out 5 years from now. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, well, the main thing is we can't discount insurance. And when we started, that was one of the main things we're doing. We weren't really doing any retail. So there's no way to discount insurance. So we wanted to come up with a way to, you know, bring appreciation to them. So we started a referral program where we had a referral program anyway, 250 for referrals, but we add extra $100 to that if you're a military first responder. It's kind of extended into some other things like nursing or teachers and stuff like that a little bit.
All the
But
heroes.
yeah, all the heroes, I mean, if you are Yeah, all it hears. That's a good way to put it.
It's a great way for us to generate more work, to get our names out there, and it's a great opportunity for people who pour money into these things to kind of, um, it's a way to give back. It's really nice because one of our suppliers, when we order materials through them, for all of our military homeowners that we get the roof done, they pay us in full, but in 2 weeks they get a Visa gift card in the mail. It's like a $300 Visa gift card for like a thank you for their service. So it's nice to be able to offer that, and that's not even from us, but we also do, like he was saying, we do $250 referrals. If you call me and you're like, hey, my buddy's in Georgia and he needs you to come check out his roof, we go look at the roof. We end up coming up with some kind of a deal, whether it's insurance or retail. When we're done with that job, you're going to get 250 or 350 if you're a hero. So it's just, I mean, we're honestly just so blessed, and we're in an awesome predicament. It's just like it would seem like robbery if we didn't have some kind of way to give back. If somebody sends me a $20,000 roof, I mean, I'm not making $20,000, but $250 is worth the referral. It's
Yeah,
well
I
worth
mean,
it.
yeah, definitely, man. And it
If you
shows.
spent $1,000 on your deductible, and then over the next 6 months, you sent me 4 of your friends that need roofs, you pretty much got a free roof, and we didn't have to bend any rules to do that.
Yeah, do you guys see that a lot? Like where people try to bend the rules out there and try to
Yeah,
Dude, what? People knock on doors, free roofs all day long.
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, we
yeah,
see that a lot up here too, as well.
yeah. The people that are in this industry, man, is just what it brings. I mean, you have to expect it, right? When there's the opportunity and the kind of money that there is in roofing, of course you're going to come up with every intention of them not paying their deductible out the gate to try and win more jobs.
Hmm.
It's not worth it.
And
It's
I
absolutely
mean,
not
that's what
worth
you
it.
guys are building. You guys are building trust. You're building community. Like you guys actually get it. You're trying to put those together, and you're like, the rest will come. I love it that that's the pieces to your puzzle that you guys are really building that foundation on.
Yeah, it's important.
Beautiful, guys. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. Anybody out there in Central Georgia, Macon, Georgia area? These are the guys. Triple J. You could call Jacob or James. You could try to call Jesus. Might not be available to take your call, but I'm sure he will answer your prayers, right? But call these guys up. Triple J, Macon, Georgia. Love having you guys on. Thank you guys so much. This was
Yeah, that
amazing.
was
Absolutely.
awesome,
Thank you
man.
very
Thank
much.
you.